Hi everyone, it's Adam here from Ads Productions, and today I'm going to be looking at the Smart AX1500 Wi-Fi 6 router from D-Link. Let's get the technical specifications out of the way to start with. In terms of device interfaces, there's a single 10, 100, 1000 Mbps gigabit Ethernet WAN port. There are 4 10, 100, 1000 Mbps gigabit Ethernet LAN ports. You've got LEDs for the power, internet, and you've also got the status lights for Wi-Fi 2.4 and Wi-Fi 5. There are 4 external antennas included with this, and the Wi-Fi data rate is 2.4 GHz up to 300 Mbps and 5 GHz up to 1200 Mbps. The minimum requirements for this are Windows 10, 8.1, 8, 7 Vista or Mac OS X 10.6 or higher. It supports Internet Explorer 10, Firefox 28, Chrome 28, Safari 6 and up. It does need a network interface card and a cable DSL modem or other internet service provider equipment with an Ethernet port. In terms of security, it uses WPA2, Wi-Fi Protected Access, and WPA3, as well as WPS, Wi-Fi Protected Setup. Some of the advanced features that are touted to be within this router are the D-Link's Wi-Fi app setup and configuration, the quality of service, the demilitarized zone, the firewall with network address translation, NAT, and guest zones. So the dimensions in millimeters are 251.64 by 166.47 by 194.18. The total weight is 410 grams, about 0.9 pounds. As is quite typical with these reviews, I'm going to go over the design, so what it actually looks like when you take it out of the box, the front, the back, underneath, and things like that. So here we go. So when you look at it from the front, you'll see the antennas immediately, and then you'll see the status lights, or where they should be. You have a status light for the internet, the power, the 2.4 GHz connection, and the 5 GHz connection. There aren't too many status lights here, but it gets the job done for you to immediately look at and realize the state of the router. This router is very modern looking. It's not going to be one of your 90s routers that you dig out from the box. This is a very modern piece of kit. The antennas, although they might be slightly overkill, they look pretty cool as you lift them up on the left, the right hand side and the rear of the device. It makes you realise that you have a piece of kit here that's capable of, and I quote their marketing material, mind-blowing speed and range. I understand it's a functional thing and you want to have as much surface area to transmit the signal. It just feels like it could be a bit smaller and a bit more sleek. Minor complaint. It's not going to affect the overall usage of this router. Okay, now let's switch to the rear of the router. On the back you have a couple of LAN ports, 4 in fact. You have the internet port which has a yellow profile. You've also got the reset button, the WPS button, and the power button, as well as a place to put the power connector. When we look and talk about the underside of this router, we can see that there are 2 mounting places where you can basically mount it to a wall or somewhere a bit more tidier so that you can have this router working for you and be hidden out of sight. You've also got 4 mini feet stamps. Overall, a very decent design. Looks somewhat futuristic with the antennas and kind of spacecraft feel. I know that might sound quite silly, but there's kind of a sci-fi. You've got 4 long antennas with this black box with blinking lights on it. It looks the part. And because everyone's internet's going to vary with certain ISPs giving you certain speeds and setups and configurations, I feel like it was best to just do a summary of what you get in terms of an interface with this device. So let's connect to it and see what we've got to work with. First of all, I've got to say it is so easy to set this up. If you like, you can go and download the D-Link Wi-Fi app, which after clicking the Install New Device option will allow you to scan the included QR code on the included card that you get in the box, and it will take you through a simple setup guide to get you started. All I did, however, because I've set up a few of these before, is browse to the IP address of the router, log in with the default credentials, and then I change the settings to my preference. So simple, so effective. To put a long and boring story short with the setup, it is very easy to set up even if you have no technical experience whatsoever. The guides, the smartphone app, and everything else included in the box will mean that your iPhone app and D-Link will be with you every step of the way when it comes to configuring. So now let's talk a little bit more about the interface. At every turn you have the ability to select your ISP, and settings needed will then change, meaning that basically it caters for whatever type of person wants to use this. You could be on 2 Degrees or Vodafone or any other carrier, and it will customize itself for that and allow you to put the settings that it needs for the different carriers. Hopefully that makes sense. Once you are logged into the router or router, if you want to manually set things up, the interface is so clean and easy to understand. And on top of everything, navigating it is extremely simple and easy to do. And that's exactly how it should be. More often than not, network devices can overwhelm you with different options, configurations and processes, just to try and get you started whilst trying to show off all the features as it has. I feel like with this D-Link one, it doesn't do that, and it guides you to each and every step that you may or may not need without shoving it all in your face. Now don't worry, just because it's a simple looking interface doesn't mean it doesn't come with all of the features that you would expect from something like this. That includes management, statistic reporting, automatic updates, which of course keep your router in top shape for any future rollouts. You've got Wi-Fi 6 enabled, which supports full simultaneous streams and really does facilitate the next generation of smart home technology, because the more devices the merrier. You've also got logging for error reporting, you've got dynamic DNS, static routes or routes, website filtering, quality of service engines and things like that. It's packed full of features that you're going to use, or maybe not, it's there for extras. Now in my home I have quite a lot of different technology working together, whether it's security cameras, NAS drives, switches, routers, hotspots, this and that. And I found that placing this as my main router, it held up perfectly well. It went through all my devices fine, it didn't have any lag, there was no performance issues. I was able to connect to my cameras whilst using the NAS drive to stream movies. There was no noticeable slowdown, and I think it handled it very well, even when it was peak time, multiple people using the Plex, multiple people using the security cameras, and multiple people just trying to access the NAS drive for different documents. It holds its own very, very well, and you'll be silly not to at least consider this router for your setup. So, should you buy this or not? Personally, if you're looking for a router that has Wi-Fi 6 enabled, and you have a few smart home things, maybe you've got a smart doorbell or security camera here and there, and if you want the additional benefit of being able to use Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa, which I didn't mention and I won't go into, but they're included and you can enable them to change various settings with this device, then definitely consider this. It will fit in, it looks actually quite futuristic as I mentioned before. It will fit into most setups. The antennas may not be everybody's cup of tea, and perhaps you'll be one of those people that actually quite like a complex and quite complicated and fiddly console when you remote into it. Obviously, the good side of that is you've got loads of settings, loads more settings than this on your more enterprise routers. However, when you've got this D-Link, for example, I think it makes it extremely simple. It doesn't overcomplicate things. It doesn't show you hundreds of different settings and different profiles and configurations. It keeps it clean, allowing you to enable them in the future when you want to use it. So I would say definitely consider this, but know that it's one of many on the market, as you I'm sure are aware, because the router space is quite a competitive market, but D-Link has given it a really good go with a very powerful router. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to leave them as a comment below, and I will do my best to answer them and give you the advice that I can. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Adam from Ads Productions with an overview of the D-Link Smart AX1500 Wi-Fi 6 router. Thanks for watching.